He is the one responsible.
Melinda!
So after writing off the success of Jendy Tartakovsky's Primal, and although I was very sad, I was kind of excited because he had a new series coming out called Unicorn Warriors Eternal. When I saw the posters for it, I felt very conflicted because it did not look anything like what we were used to seeing in Primal. The main draw for me in Primal was not mainly the animation. Sure, it was the style, but it was also the fact that we had dinosaurs, and it was going to be primarily about a caveman and his relationship with his dinosaur friend. The journey was just completely out of this world, and I will never forget it. Even though the show ended in a way that felt very rushed, it was still enjoyable and I think extremely rewatchable. So then enter Unicorn Warriors, and I did not read any reviews or looked at any reviews before this, but it's Jendy Tartakovsky, and so far that I know of, everything that he's made or done is actually pretty decent. So we decided to watch it together. I got my husband into Primal, and he thoroughly enjoyed it. And so it was only fair, since we were on the Jendy Tartakovsky train, to go on to this. And so we did. And when it started, it had this Dungeons and Dragons type of feel, like a very campaigny RPG-ish storyline. And the synopsis is basically these warriors that have different powers battle against primordial forces of evil across space and time. They are constantly reincarnated from each generation by a steampunk robot thing, a very rotund yet taciturn character called Copernicus, and the whole mission is to safeguard humanity. You have these elemental creatures that look like beasts, but they look like they made of water and air, just flying around and just terrorizing people like something out of Pacific Rim, and that's basically it. So they set up the story, they set up what the powers are and how it works, and then we're introduced to the main character, who is a girl called Emma that is going to be reincarnated, or Melinda is going to be reincarnated in her. She's the witch girl, and she's about to start her romantic journey with the love of her life that she knew from childhood, but the robot comes, breaks up her wedding in the middle when they're about to say their I do's, and she's whisked away, understanding full well she is no longer Emma. And everything just feels very fast-paced. The episodes are short, and very steampunky, and very bizarre.
Thank you, Father.
Now, aside from the fluidity of the animation, which I do have to applaud, oh my god, you guys are gonna hate me because I think this is absolute ass.
Get her out of here!
I am so sorry. I know I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but I'm not even kidding. During the second episode, my skin was crawling because of how anxiety-inducing it was, and not in the good way. I had anxiety because I could not wait for it to be over. It was so agonizingly boring and just uncomfortable to watch. I don't know what went on with the animation, but it devolved as time went on. And I don't mean the animation itself. The fluidity of the animation, you could tell they put a lot of work into it. It's well done. But the designs of the characters that they probably did on purpose, I don't know why they look like plastic bags.
You're doing too much.
But the animation style just devolved into complete pandemonium. And like these old comic clippings that people collect and put in museums where the cartoons all look like someone took a pizza slice out of their pupils. I don't know what happened here. And I look and I'm saying to myself, am I the only person who feels this way? But no, my husband actually, he felt the same way too. I could feel that he was restless. And I said, do you want to finish watching this? Because I can't anymore. I really cannot. I cannot take it anymore. And he said it's just not entertaining to him. This is for a completely different audience. And I completely agree. I don't know who this is for, and I would argue with him after he stated that it's probably made for, like, really small children. But I remember when I was really small and cartoons were not this freaking daft.
You are daft.
I hate to be the one who is the dissenter here, because I'm looking at other reviews and apparently it's just me, or just us. Because I absolutely cannot stand it. It is maddening. The voice acting is so subpar. It's agonizingly atrocious.
Is that him?
And we liked it just fine.
And what might you be doing here? What you going on about there, you rusty bucket?
Your friend's getting a bit excited.
Oh dear God.
The cartoon characters are horrendous. Ew. And while you do have some very interesting scenes, like the soccer scene, where the guy who she was going to marry, I don't even care about their names because I just hate this thing so much. You do have some cool shots here and there. The story is bland and bleak, and there's nothing there to really hold me. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. The best way I could describe this is absolutely maddeningly disgusting. I wish I could see what everybody else was seeing. And I am so glad that there are people who genuinely enjoy this, but I feel like something is wrong with me because not even the story is interesting. You could think there's an element of it that will keep you drawn in, which would be the storyline. You could overlook the animation or the style of the animation or the acting.
Melinda. Is that my name?
It is?
You just said it!
I did?
You just yelled Melinda and
But nothing so far from what I've seen in the first 2 episodes makes me want to stay. It makes me want to go running for the hills. This is worse than Teletubbies. Okay, that's a stretch. But it feels just as bad, and I don't remember the last time I sat down, aside from the Peter Pan and Wendy movie, and watched a movie where I felt as though my skin was crawling and I had to stop. The Peter Pan and Wendy movie was horrible, and I just felt really annoyed, and it was wretched sitting through that slog and watching it to review it. But for some reason, this felt worse. It's like I'm a vampire, and someone put freaking garlic up in my vampire snatch. It felt like my whole skin, my nerves were just on fire for all the wrong reasons, and I don't know how I can have that reaction from coming off of something that Jenny Tartakovsky made like Primal and my body completely responding in the complete different way, but then have this cartoon or animation that was also by the same person be something I absolutely abhor. Usually when I look at animators or creators, I will find most of their work enjoyable. So far, everything else that I've watched of Jenny Tartakovsky, I have not. I think Samurai Jack was done by him as well, and I believe Dexter's Laboratory. And I've watched like some episodes of those. Samurai Jack, I tried to get through it and it's really, really good, but I fell off and I really want to continue it because it is really good. But this does not feel like it's in the same galaxy universe as those. It just, the freaking characters, the environments are okay, but the character, what is going on? What is this body horror? It feels like that's what I'm watching. Every character that I see, all I kept saying to myself or audibly was ew, 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 gross. Like, it was not pleasing to the eye. It was not pleasing to the senses. When every time the main character opened her mouth, that was not pleasing to the ear. Just like I imagine my voice isn't. But I could not. And then I eventually had to take a break. And my husband said I had to finish watching episode 2 because I have to give an honest review, so I have to sit and watch through all of it. I told him, can you just bear with it with me and let's, it's recorded, so let's just put it on like double speed because that's the only way I can watch it. And he basically freaking threw me under the bus and be like, you're on your own. So I had to watch it on my own. So I was halfway through and it felt like the second episode was already like an hour long. Maybe it was, I don't know. But I brought it into VLC and sped through it to the point where you could see all the moving pictures going really fast and the captions are on so you could see what's going on. And that is the only way I was remotely able to kind of enjoy, and not even enjoy, that's a wrong word to use, to tolerate sitting through the rest of it. It went through so fast. I knew what happened at the end. Her partner's probably dead. I just cannot. I don't know what it is about this that's rubbing me the wrong way, but it just... everything about it, just no way, dude. No, it's not my thing. Not my cup of tea at all. Like, the character, you're trying to root for this character. I don't like her. Her freaking face looks like a freaking eggplant. Her lips are often on her neck. I don't know why the freaking style is like this. I get it, it's a different style, but she looks nasty. Like, every time I look at her, she looks like one of those Brat dolls, like a creepypasta version of those Brat dolls, which I absolutely hated because they always have these duck lips and they look stupid as fuck. Like, it just makes me angry. Like, you can actually hear me getting freaking angry because I have to look back through the clips for this freaking review, and I don't know why. I don't think the animation deserves as much hatred as I'm admitting or directing towards it, but that's just the reaction it gets in me. Catnip makes cats horny and weird. This makes me angry and nauseous. I just do not like it. I'm so sorry, and I know probably some of you are gonna be like, give it another chance and sit through it, it gets better. Does it though? Does it really? I mean, if the first episodes are any indication of the tone and atmosphere for the show, I don't really have much hope for the rest of the series. I think it's safe to say the first 2 episodes, you kind of know what kind of show you're getting into. This is not mine. The story is not even that deep. In Primal, you had this really deep story. Maybe the story becomes deep over time and it's just not enough to hook me. I think Jenny Tartakovsky's strength is when, maybe that depends on the writers, but when the characters aren't speaking. Because I feel like if this had no dialogue, it probably would have been an ounce better. I just have a feeling.
Hello.
But yeah, I don't know. Something's not right. Something just feels off. But anyway, that's just my honest opinion. I can go on for an hour about how cathartic it is to just pick this whole shit apart. I promise you I'm not disliking it just to dislike it. I don't know why people keep bringing that up because it's a very weird thing to say. But I don't know what in the freaking hellspawn alternate universe boondocks this shit is supposed to be, but I really do not like it. I'm being dead ass right now. Like, I really don't freaking like it. I don't want to give it a second chance. I am so sorry I sat down and wasted my time watching it. No, 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 no. That being said, feel free in the comments to tell me exactly what it is you guys like about that, because apparently I can only get the perception from sympathizing with others or trying to see it through your eyes. And I think the only way I can kind of understand where you guys are coming from is if I completely forget about what I watched and imagine it being constructed in like a Japanese anime, and maybe it would look better and feel better and be acted better. But so far, nah, this doesn't even feel like Jenny Tartakovsky for some reason. I guess there's always one, right? But to each his own. This has been Alturi. Yeah, see, I even forgot my outro. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. This has been Alturi. You ask, we answer.